Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
Hey Bart, how are you?
Good, how's it going?
Good. I've got a kind of a tough spot in a 2-5, 500 cap game. My question is around action at the river,
Okay,
so I'll just get into it.
sure. 2-5,
I
500
opened,
cap.
correct.
Okay,
I opened 25 UTG with Ace King offsuit.
okay,
I get a middle position 3 caller, kind of a pre-flop station, and then the button calls as well, who is a super nice guy, straightforward, fit or fold type of gentleman.
okay.
So we've got 75 in the pot. We'll go to a flop of ace of spades, 2 of hearts, and 7 of spades.
Okay.
I decide to lead for 45, targeting the other ace X's, maybe spade draws there.
Got it.
The middle position folds,
Okay.
and the button calls quickly. So we've got now a pot of 165.
Okay.
And the turn is pretty interesting. It's a king of spades.
So you've got top two now,
So,
but the front door spade draw comes in. Obviously, you don't have a spade, right?
yep.
Because you've got ace king
hmm
offsuit, and there's 2 spades out there. Okay.
But I'm going to continue here. I lead again for 75 this time.
Yeah, just a little thing on that.
And,
I actually had a similar hand that I'm probably going to go over on my podcast for tomorrow, coming out of 5-5. It wasn't with ace king, but it was actually with king queen. And a diamond came and I made 2 pair and I bet the turn. Here it's even, I feel like it's even more of a pronounced bet because on ace high boards, I feel like a lot of people at this level, and I've seen it, they'll call a raise with any ace X suited. Some will call raises with ace 10 plus off, and some will call with any ace. There were a couple guys that were calling me at 5-5 at the bike with like ace 8 off against my under the gun raising range, and I thought these guys were tight. And, when you start to put that many hands in somebody's pre-flop range, then they just have exponentially more combinations of ace X here than flushes.
okay, so do you prefer like downsizing? Do you prefer checking at this spot? What are your
Well,
thoughts?
no, I mean, I don't prefer checking for the reasons that I just stated, but you said the pot now is, what is it, 165, so you bet 75. That's fine.
Yeah.
You might be able to bet 100. I mean, the other interesting thing here that I got into too is that you get into these awkward stack sizes. And I've always said I don't envy people that play this game on a regular basis because, in reality, you look at it and you say, oh, it's 500 effective, it's a 100 big blind game, but it's not when people they don't not the way that people think of 100 big blinds. It's actually much shallower than that when you're dealing with 5x opens and multi-way pots, right? I mean, you open a 5x and 2 people called. So, yeah, I think that when people are talking about stack off ranges and things like that at 100 big blinds, they're usually accustomed to online play where it's a 3x open or even sometimes smaller nowadays, not so multi-way. So it's definitely different, but I probably would bet a little bit larger, but okay, you bet 75.
Yeah, I bet 75. Button calls again pretty quickly. So we've got a pot of 315,
Okay.
and the river rolls off an offsuit deuce, pairing the board.
Okay.
So at this spot, I kind of wasn't sure which way to go with it. What are you thinking here? What are you doing in this spot particularly?
Well, I mean, the guy's got this is actually a pretty good card for you, I think, for a number of
Mhm.
reasons. I mean, yeah, he could have deuce X of spades, but he can't really have ace deuce and he can't have king deuce, so he would have to be really, really wide. The other thing too is that you're really protected here when the board pairs with your under the gun range, it being strong and an ace and a king being out there. So you're just not going to see, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of flushes even shove the river if he did have a flush. I mean, it's possible, but the other thing now too is that the kicker plays on board. which is obviously the king. So it's ace deuce seven, king deuce, which
Right.
sort of incentivizes people to call more because they feel like, oh, I don't have a kicker problem now with like ace eight with the ace of spades or something like that. So, I mean, it looks like the guy's put in, he's got about 370 left, if I'm doing the math right, something, or maybe 360 left. The pot's
Mhm.
315. Yeah, I mean, I would bet again here, and I would probably bet like maybe 160. But again, it's sort of awkward because if you get shoved on, the pot's like 200. But um, I would definitely bet again here.
Okay. Yeah. I think that was my critical error. I decided to just knowing this player, especially. I decided he's checking back with mostly anything, any ace X or whatever.
Right.
Um, so I decided to check.
So why would you check if he's checking back with any ace X? I mean,
um,
doesn't that
I
go
guess
over?
I mean no, that's a good point because he's probably calling thinking we're chopping. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right. Um, I was a little bit concerned about how fast he was calling, but I guess maybe if he did hit his spades, maybe queen jack, queen ten, jack ten or something, I'm going to hear from him probably at the turn. He might raise right there, right?
I mean, it's possible he might raise a two-way draw, but again, though, I don't even think that that's correct, though, because you have to notice something that we've been bringing up a lot more is configuration, and that means where you're raising from. And if I'm on the button and you're the preflop raiser and you bet flop and bet turn from under the gun, you have a pretty strong range. Like usually you should have ace jack suited plus, and you've got a lot of pocket aces, and you've got, I mean, I don't know if you would bet pocket kings on the flop, but you've got a lot of ace king, and you're not really coming off of those hands. So I would tend to not raise the turn with a royal draw. There's only a couple combinations anyways, queen jack, queen 10, and
Mm-hmm.
jack 10 of spades. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty bad error because I got into a tough spot here. I decided to check to him, and he immediately bets 200, leaving himself 160 or so behind.
Um, yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't be in the spot. So he's betting 200 here
Mhm.
into
Five,
350,
five, yeah,
right,
into
into 315.
315.
So
Yeah.
it's 515, 200 for you to call. I
Hmm.
don't know. I mean, there are some guys that will bet an ace here, thinking that you're not checking ace king, and they think it's a
Hmm.
free roll bet. I
Hmm.
think that I might make that play maybe with a little bit more stack depth at this level if I had like ace queen. And I didn't think that you would check ace king at the end. I might just blast the river to try to get
Hmm.
you off of a chop. I mean, you're getting about 2.5 to 1 here. It I feel like a lot of aces would check behind, but I don't know. I think it's probably pretty close at the end, whether or not you're gonna call or fold. I At this level, I probably lean a little bit towards a call with
Hmm.
these pot odds, but it's probably gonna be pretty close either way.
Yeah. Well, I decided to let it go pretty quick. Just again with this particular player, I've never really seen him get on a line or do anything crazy. So I gave him credit for it, and I folded face up, and he quickly tabled a ace queen offsuit, and I
Yeah.
can't remember if it was a queen of spades or not.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. I mean, from a blocker perspective, if the guy's got ace queen with the queen of spades too, he can feel a little bit more comfortable though too. Not that you're really checking a flush all that much, but if you're ever doing something wacky. But that's why I would probably call, because I feel like sometimes
Hmm.
people think that that bet's going to be a free roll bet if you're not checking ace king. So
Yeah, it's a very good point. I actually bluffed in a similar spot last night with the same similar type of board to try and get a guy to fold for a chop. It was so I did learn from it, but yeah, absolutely. So that's so this spot's a river bet or a call if you're going to check, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm checking that much at the end. I mean, the thing is
Right.
that like you would sometimes. I mean, there is a third reason we talk about. I'm not a huge fan of checking a lot of rivers, especially at low stakes. People don't bluff enough. You can sometimes do it if a guy's going to value own themselves, which means if they would fold to a bet, and if you checked them, they bet the hand themselves. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think that you're probably going to get a call at the end. But thanks for the call, David. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.